Thank you for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my presentation with the title Decommissioning, Technical Aspects and Management of Risks. So, you can hear me? So, firstly, I will give you a basic overview on the technical and radiological aspects of the decommissioning. And I will tell you a little bit about the main decommissioning activities. Then I would discuss the decommissioning strategies, and the further point will deal with the risk management and its importance within the overall decommissioning plan. Finally, then I will make some few conclusions. So, what is the main requirement of the nuclear decommissioning? It is to remove and to safely dispose all the radioactive materials from the facility that is mainly concentrated in the controlled area. So I think we already spoke about this main goal, and this must occur under very well controlled technical conditions and by assuring radiation protection measures. The decommissioning should achieve a state without limitations. This means below any regulatory concern, and depending on the strategy, also complete removal of the construction. What are the mechanisms of the radioactive contamination? Why is the decommissioning so complicated? So this is just a simplifying picture. The radioactivity is generated in a nuclear reactor during the energy production, and the neutron-induced fission of fuel fissile materials is occurring, and there arise fission products. Along this process, neutrons are generated that are also necessary to keep this fission process steady, but more neutrons are generated as needed. And these neutrons are captured in surrounding non-radioactive material, and this usually non-radioactive material is getting radioactive in its whole. So then the second mechanism is further radioactivity release. The fission products and abrased activated particles dissolve in the cooling liquid and absorb by contact with surfaces. This is this figure should show you the process of the adsorption. So, Mr. Pirani already spoke about the many old reactors within Europe. This picture shows you how many reactors around Europe are older than 30 years and older than 40 years. That is very important because the longer reactor operation time, the higher is the contamination. So we have more fuel. The reactor's internals and the bioshield are activated, high activated by neutrons. The contamination of surfaces and structures is getting deeper, and also the risks of internal release events are higher with the longer time. So additional contamination of locations and materials is then the result, and the cleanup process is more complicated. So regarding the decommissioning activities, you already could hear what are the main challenges and main activities. So the technologies for decommissioning, already the main technologies has been developed. Anyway, the problem is that every reactor is a special case, and these technologies have to be adapted or even new developed. So then important are many works that are getting complicated with the age of the reactor. So all the materials must be sorted according to the degree of the activation and contamination, cut, solidify, and compacted in the packages. And every good overall decommissioning plan should involve the relevant space for the flow of waste. This issue must be very carefully planned, and this was not the case in the past in many decommissioning projects. And as already was mentioned, the disposal under defined conditions involving interim storage and final disposal strategy is still a challenge because we have no final disposal strategy for high radioactive waste around the world yet. That is the big problem. So, what about the decision on the decommissioning strategy? There are three main strategies: immediate or deferred dismantling, that should allow the activity decline, and entombment. Before starting the decommissioning, the relevant timeline should consider all the radiological risks and determines the and this is what determines the decommissioning plan development. The main reason for delayed decommissioning, for some in postponing with inactive time periods, is the activity declining because the very short half-life radionuclides can reduce the radioactivity. This process is mainly occurs mainly within the last first 10-12 years, and after that the declining doesn't play so big role. So the postponing should be very carefully discussed because also the workforce that was active during the operation has also a knowledge about the reactor. With large periods of postponing, this knowledge diminish. Entombment should be seen as a last resort only, and only in special cases. Is also not recommended by IAEA because you just encapsulate a big part of the radioactive material on the site, and this is not this strategy doesn't fulfill the requirement. Also regarding the further generation burden that should be avoided. So, what is the term risk and project management within the decommissioning? The main reason why the decommissioning is so complicated is that this phase differs from the operational phase, and it requires a completely different organization structure, the workforce, and the work planning is also different. Within the decommissioning plan, the risk must be seen in a broad sense. So we have to identify all aspects which potential to negatively influence the decommissioning importance. And this is the defining of so-called critical flow path. Further, the project and risk management is not so important within the operation phase, but very important during the deconstruction and dismantling, because the workflows are completely other. And what is the big problem? There is no construction to be newly developed, but we have to discover how this construction developed in the past. So there are many surprisings that must be saluted and that are a part of the risk management. An integral part of the risk management is the risk management system, and this involves a series of arrangements for early detection, analyzing and evaluating of the limiting risks of different kinds. And parallel to this, also the solution analysis must be developed. And this also is problem by many decommissioning projects because the proper risk management system is often lacking in the still often lacking. So, and integral part of the risk management is also the communication. All the risks must be communicated in yearly, also must be yearly communicated, and the risk communication culture is also an important issue within the decommissioning. So the risk management of decommissioning is very important and governs the whole planning process of the decommissioning, and must be incorporated in the overall management structure. Missing risk management or wrongly implemented risk management into the management structure can dangerously affect the successful decommissioning implementation. So, further, very important is that an internal and external control system is involved that always show in the early beginning if the risk arise and if some accident or small accident could happen. For this reason, it is very important the introduction of the internal audit revision staff. So, some few conclusions. The decommissioning strategy should consider all risk over the long term. Sophisticated technologies have been developed, but every reactor is a special case, and this we should keep in mind. That is very important. The radiological risks associated with the pre-planned longer time delays are considerable, and to expect that some cost could be reduced or the long postponing has some advantages is doubtful. So because we have no workforce more from the operation, we lost the knowledge about the facility, and the works regarding the decontamination works are getting very problematic. And considerable delays are beyond the responsibility toward future generations. Entombment is really the last resort, Mainly, I would mention some example like Fukushima, where probably entombment will be the solution in the case of one of the units, reactor units in Fukushima. So, and the last, what I would say, the term risk in nuclear decommissioning in every case means no risk fun. Thank you very much for the attention.